So I'm playing for the Philadelphia Eagles in 2016, and I'm 37 years old. I had just signed a 3-year extension, and if you ask me, I was in the best shape of my life. So they traded me to the New Orleans Saints, and sure enough, I had to get screened. And that's when they discovered kind of a weird sound in my heart. They said it was a murmur. So they said, hey, we're going to send you down to the hospital and get further testing. And lo and behold, we had the testing, and I got the call that said, hey, you're never playing football again, and you're probably going to be in emergency open heart surgery. You have what we consider to be about a 6-centimeter aneurysm in your ascending aorta. So that little aorta is like the vein, if you will, should be that big. Mine was the size of a can, that big. And so here I am, 37, and you feel invincible. And all of a sudden, the reality of death hits you. The reality that we're not invincible hit me. And I couldn't be more thankful than to be traded to New Orleans to be saved by a saint. People ask me all the time if I had symptoms prior to that, and the reality is yes, but the scary thing is I didn't realize they were symptoms. Hey, John, were you out of breath? Well, yeah, I'm playing professional football. I'm out of breath all the time. Honestly, I just thought I wasn't as athletic as those guys, and I'm just trying to keep up with them. And then I was also having back pains, and so I was getting 4 or 5 massages a week trying to keep up. As I figured as I get older and I'm still playing a young man's game, my back's going out. But the reality is these were all symptoms of the condition that I had that was going on in my heart. I was on my honeymoon, so I had just gotten married. We went to Bora Bora on our honeymoon, and I'm a good swimmer. Like I could hold my breath, go there, back in a pool and all that. So my wife gives me a camera, and we're gonna go free diving with sharks, and so I'm trying to hold my breath, 3-4 seconds. And that's about as long as I could hold my breath, and then I'd come up to the top, and I literally felt like I was drowning. And instead of sitting back saying, hey, this isn't normal, this isn't right, I thought it was because I was out of shape, getting older, and again, trying to still play a young man's game. So that too was a symptom that something's not wrong with my heart. So the amazing thing that I learned is sometimes there's things going on in our body that we don't think is very important. It's not that big a deal. It's just a headache. It's just I'm out of breath. It's just this. Oh, it's just my back. But the reality is these can be life-changing decisions to get screened and to get tested. And let's just say it's the best thing that ever happened to me, and I'm able to sit right here and tell my story because I got screened and I'm alive. You know what? I don't know yet. As of right now, I had surgery about 9 months ago, and perspective changes. All of a sudden, things that I was stressed about, it's not so important to me anymore. But then at the same time, there's the side effects of heart surgery, right? And you start weighing the pros and cons. If I didn't get this surgery, I die. Now that I have this surgery, I have to realize that there's life changes I need to make. And my situation had nothing to do with diet, had nothing to do with coronary. I had an aneurysm in my ascending aorta, which was about to rupture, was about to explode. So it's lifestyle changes. I can't work out maybe as hard as I used to. When you get I have what's called a bovine. And now that I have foreign tissue in me and I have cloth tubes and all these things, your body's freaking out trying to figure out what's going on. So it's a battle of understanding now what I'm going through mentally and emotionally and the hormonal changes that are going on in my body and realizing that I'm not the same person I was before physically. But that's okay. I just need to get over that hump to let my body heal so that I can get back to that. But I'll tell you, man, getting tested and finding out that I had a major heart condition, realizing I wasn't invincible, it made me appreciate so much. Like the most exciting thing to me is to wake up next to my wife and my dog now and maybe just take an extra second. I was with the Philadelphia Eagles at the time, and in 2006, I was walking out to a game. It's when I first signed there, and a reporter came up to me and said, hey, it's really cool you play for the Eagles. I read that at your mom's funeral, her best friend sang Wind Beneath My Wings. I said, yeah. And I never really put 2 and 2 together. And he said, isn't that kind of cool that you're an Eagle now and the wind's beneath your wings? I said, wow, I never put that together. So when I got the news after my screening that I was going to go into emergency open heart surgery, ironically, I was sitting next to a guy named Drew Brees, and I looked at him and I said, Drew, you might not know this, but I love you, man, because you know what I just learned right now? He said, what? Sometimes you got to step out of the wind and catch a breeze. And so sure enough, the Philadelphia Eagles, the wind was beneath my wings for a long time. They traded me to the New Orleans Saints. I was saved by a saint. And instead of saying stop and smell the roses, I say step out of the wind and catch a breeze. For everyone at home that's thinking they're in perfect health and perfect shape, oh, hey, that's not me, can never happen to me, I'm telling you right now, I was that guy. I could not have been more of that guy. If you would have said, John, you got issues, I would have been like, dude, look, we're good. Okay, it's all good. I just had my apple and stuff. Like, my diet's great. I'm exercising. Life's fine. But the reality is, we really don't know. And it takes screening for them to get in there and all of a sudden to look into your arteries, to look into your heart, to see where the buildup is, to see if you're a potential candidate for coronary disease or all these things that can be happening that you have no idea. Part of my issue was I actually learned in my screening that I was born with a congenital heart defect. I didn't know that. So it didn't matter how I was feeling. So my fate, it was what it was. But now that I have the information to actually make a change, instead of maybe dying within the next few months, hopefully if all goes right, I'll be able to live and see my grandkids and watch my great-grandkids grow up. And hopefully my wife and I will die on top of a mountain together and 90 years old and loving life. But guess what? I got tested, and you should too.